rising for the presentation of colors by our naval NJROTC.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Hi, everyone. Thank you. And that was Marcus singing the anthem. Very talented student. We're happy to have him here tonight. We're so proud of him. Thank you, Marcus. So welcome, everyone. I am Katie Ramadi. I'm one of the assistant principals here at Seneca Valley. I'm so glad that you could make it out. Dr. Cohen would have loved to be here with you tonight. He sends his regrets. He's actually feeling under the weather this week, as a lot of us are coming back from break. So he wishes that he could be here tonight, but unfortunately he is not able to be here. Do I have any slides? I'm just doing the intro. Okay, I'm good. Hi. So thank you again for being here. Tonight you're gonna be listening to a lot of information that our counseling team has to share with you. Our students at Seneca have been learning about the opportunities that are available all week. Your students will learn about these opportunities as well in the coming weeks from counselors, and then our counselors are coming over to the middle schools to give that information to your students. But all of the information, Mr. Yarmus has done a really fantastic job of compiling all this information for you, all the resources for you. So all of it will be available to you online. All we ask you to do is to really think about ways to help your students challenge themselves. Being at this school gives them a lot of opportunities with career programs and anything you can imagine, anything they want to do with their lives. We have opportunities here. All we're asking you to do is really think about, have those conversations with your students about extending themselves, challenging themselves. If they're going to take risks, this is the place to do it. So if you have any questions after the presentations, please let us know. But we are here for you. As you learn more about the programs tonight, if you have more questions along the way, you're welcome to ask later because everything is available to you online. So thank you. Mr. Yarmus.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Ramadi, and good evening, everyone. So excited to see you all tonight. Before I get going, I have a quick announcement. I'm going to try my best Spanish here. So, si tenemos familia española que habla español, tenemos una presentación, la misma presentación, pero en español, ahí en la biblioteca. So, favor de irse allá con Ms. Ramati. Ahorita va a ir. Okay, all right. Also, I want to first start by thanking our amazing administrators, Ms. Ramati. Also, Ms. Heckard is here, one of our assistant principals. We are very fortunate at Seneca to have an amazing administrative team. We work very closely together, and we're lucky. And we're so happy to have our middle school families here tonight. We can't wait to see you here next year. For many of you, this is your first time in the amazing brand new Seneca Valley, an amazing place to come to work and to come to school. So you're getting a nice taste of that tonight. So welcome. We have a lot of stuff to cover tonight in a short amount of time, but I think you'll find the information quite useful. Our plan tonight, you're going to get to meet almost all of our amazing Seneca Valley counselors. You're going to hear from them. We're going to go over MCPS graduation requirements and the process of registration. We're going to talk about some of the special programs available in this amazing place. And we're going to get you ready to register for your classes, which you'll be doing very soon. Some of our youngest Screaming Eagles in attendance here, which is great. So before we go further, I'm going to introduce you to the amazing Seneca Valley Counseling Services team. We have Mrs. Fellows. We have Mr. Singh, Mr. Martinez, Mr. Grinley, Miss Kanai, Miss Harriston, Miss Watson, and a few other counselors. Our ESOL counselor, Miss Teixeira, is upstairs in the media center, and Miss West is not here tonight, but she sends her regards. Some of the other faces, we have a dynamic team. There's 23 of us in counseling services. So I just want to quickly show you their faces. You'll be seeing them in different ways in your time here at Seneca next year, and they are amazing as well. We've already met two of our administrators. We also have Dr. Cohen, of course, who wishes he could be here tonight, Dr. Kim, Ms. Wanzer, Ms. Crawford, and Ms. Riddick. That rounds out our administrative team. So tonight, one of the important messages that we want to get through is that registration can be an overwhelming process. I have 2 kids in high school myself, and one who is your age, an 8th grader, going into high school next year. So as a parent myself, I know exactly, for those of you, this might be your first, might be your last, entering high school. It can be overwhelming. There's a lot of information, especially at a place like Seneca Valley, where there are so many options, which is a wonderful thing, but can also make it feel a little more stressful to choose between all these great options. So everything we talk about tonight is available right now for you to see and look at on the Seneca Valley registration website. So in fact, this is being recorded. We're being recorded right now, so you'll be able to view this presentation tomorrow if there's something you missed. The slides you'll see tonight are already up on the website. The resources we're going to share with you, all there for you on the website. Where do you find this great registration website? You would just go to Seneca Valley's main page, and at the top of the page, you'll see a link for 2023-24 registration. So you click on that link, and it will take you to the registration website. Again, a compendium of resources that go over everything related to registration. What will you see there? Well, you'd find information about your future counselor. You'll find copies of the registration cards that you'll hear about shortly. You'll find links to our course bulletin, course descriptions, MCPS course bulletin, IB info, AP info, dual enrollment info. Everything that as a future Screaming Eagle you need to know is there on the website. And with that, I am going to hand the mic to Mrs. Fellows. She's also our SSL coordinator. She's going to talk with you about registration cards and lots of other good stuff.
Hello, everybody. It's so great to see all of you. We're super excited to come to the middle schools January 23rd through the 27th, and we'll be visiting each and every middle school, and we'll be going over this information with the students. And on that day, the students will bring home the registration card, and you will have time at home to go over it with your student to see about the choices that you're going to do for next year. So you're going to make a careful decision about what you're doing, and then you're going to make sure you complete the card, fill it out on both sides. Parents definitely sign off on it. And as you fill it out, you may want to use a pencil until you're completely ready to make a final decision. So you will see at the top, grade 9 registration card. Okay, so some reminders. We want you to pay attention to the graduation requirements. And as Mr. Yarmouth showed you earlier, we have all of that online for you to use at the same time that you're home, talking about the different classes that you could take. Okay, there are 2 sides to the card, so make sure you completely fill it out. And try to remember there are 7 classes a day, probably just like your middle school, right? And so you want to make sure you're not checking off more than 7 full classes for the year, because we won't know what you want unless it's completely filled out with 7 classes. If you put more by accident, then we're going to not know which classes you meant. Make sure you use your pencil at first until your final. And then if you see over in the bottom right-hand corner on the back, there's alternative selections. So it's really, really key that if you pick your electives, that you have alternatives in case something doesn't fit in your schedule. We'll have 3 possibilities that you would not mind taking, and that would help us if we need to go to the alternatives. Some people like a visual of the whole 4 years. So we have so many sample things online. You can print this out. If you want to see what it looks like from grades 9 through 12, that's already a sample of what you could do throughout the 4 years. So that's a nice guide, as well as people who love to handwrite and fill out each year and what that will look like on this optional 4-year plan worksheet. Additionally, we have in the student view on the student's account, you will see the graduation status view, and you can tell, like, students who are now in Algebra 1 or took Algebra 1 in middle school or world languages, that it starts getting you to the goal of all the credits that you need for graduation. So you can always check that out by going to the student view and then clicking on course history. Another nice feature is you can click in detail on the student course history, as well as the student service learning hours, which I'm the coordinator of. So if you ever have questions about that, feel free to contact me, Ellen Fellows. And now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Singh.
Good evening, everyone. So we'll look at where you can find your courses for registration. So in addition to finding them on the registration card, you can find them on the course bulletin, which is on our school website. And it gives you a list of all the courses that you can take, as well as a brief description of those courses as well. This is the MCPS course bulletin, and this has both the courses and description of courses for all of MCPS. So you'll find everything in there, but not all the classes listed on there are available to Seneca Valley students. Okay, so this is pretty important. This is on, again, our school registration website. It's a description of course offerings, and so it breaks down all the courses by the various departments. And so you can go in there and see what courses are under each department, a brief description of those courses, and then you can also see the core courses sequence. So it kind of shows you, what you can take in 9th grade and then your options for 10th, 11th, and 12th. This is the teacher input. The teachers are currently putting in courses that they think might be best for students for next year. And you can find this under Student View under Course Requests, and I believe it should be available on Friday. Next we'll be looking at graduation requirements. It seems pretty complex, but it's not too complex. So you need 22 credits in total, 75 SSL hours, and then meeting the state testing requirements, okay? And then you can also find your grade-specific graduation requirements on our website as well. Okay, that's basically the sheet. Next, we'll kind of break down the graduation requirements. So first, we'll look at English. You need 4 credits of English. You have to take English every year. 4 credits of math, including 1 credit of algebra and 1 in geometry. 3 credits of social studies, including US history, national, state, and local government, and then modern world history or IB history. You need 3 credits of science, 1 credit of fine arts, a credit of PE, 1 credit of health, 1 in technology, and 2 credits of a world language, and they have to be in the same world language, and 2 electives, or you could also complete the program of study. So this little chart is the grade promotion chart. It looks pretty complex, but it's again pretty simple. So by the end of each grade, you can kind of look and see the total number of credits that you need in order to be promoted to the next grade. Okay, next we'll have our IB coordinator, Ms. Natasha Azerski.
I almost said good morning. Good evening. It's been a long day. Good evening. So we are a wall-to-wall IB school. So that means in 9th and 10th grade, all of our students are IB students, and they're a part of the middle years program. Ms. Beecroft's in charge of that. She wasn't able to be here this evening. And then in 11th and 12th grade, students have the option to take individual IB courses, or they can be a part of the IB diploma program or the IB career-related program. I know you're saying, I'm just trying to figure out 9th grade, and you're talking about 11th and 12th already. And that QR code, it is shared, that will take you to the IB website that gives more information. So again, so an IB, when we say an IB World School, what it means is we're focused on that entire student. So we're looking at their social emotional well-being, as well as developing those academic skills, because we want them prepared when they leave us, regardless what job or career they go into or what college they go into. So they're developing that academic toolkit, as I like to say, those critical thinking skills, time management skills. And then they're also interculturally understanding and respected through the international mindedness. So in 9th grade, again, all of our students in 9th grade, we've aligned our classes. Your students will actually be the first class, will be authorized as an MYP school this spring. So your students will actually be the first class that has it authorized. So in the MYP, we follow the content of Maryland and MCPS, but we work through these big concepts. So every class that they're in, they're gonna be focused on these big concepts. So for instance, if they're looking at change in social studies, they're looking at the change of society over time. Or if they're looking at change in science, perhaps they're looking at the change in the water cycle or other things that are occurring in our environment. So preparing for IBDP or CP, if this is something that you're considering, these are some tips that we suggest. So in 9th and 10th grade, make sure you're taking that honors classes. You're doing AP and SL to challenge yourself. Take approaches to learning. So if you're a little concerned and need some extra support, we do have approaches to learning for 9th and 10th graders. So that gives them the academic support as well as some time to do some studying in that course. We have the MYP personal projects. So that's actually a interest project. They pick something that is of interest to them, and we help them through that process. We also have a Think Big program, which we've been very lucky to have. Our students actually have gone to Glenstone, they've gone to Strathmore and heard from professional artists. We'll actually have one this spring come in. Commit to that rigor and challenge. So it is a little bit challenging when you come to 9th grade, but commit to that and fight through that to reach your goals. Begin or start a world language, so French or Spanish are the 2 that you would need if you want to do the IB diploma program. And then map out your graduation requirements. So you want to make sure that you have some flexibility in 11th and 12th by meeting those graduation requirements in 9th and 10th. So the IB diploma program, that's kind of seen as the gold standard preparatory program for college. So in the IB program, again, that starts in 11th and 12th grade. So they're undertaking this kind of interesting education because it takes them not just through their studies of math, science, but they're also learning all of these different skills. It teaches them better to process information, and it prepares them for their college and career. And then the IBCP program, so if they're in a career program like cybersecurity or health professions, it might not be as, their schedule might not be as flexible. So here they get the rigor of the IB courses, and they're getting the technical skills of their career program. And then just a few benefits. So again, if they're taking the IB diploma program, it helps their college's applications because the colleges are seeing they're taking that challenge. It helps them earn college credit, so we know how expensive colleges are. Again, it helps them build that academic toolkit, all of those skills they need to succeed later. We no longer have final exams, so the IB exams or AP exams are the best example our students have to prepare them for that college rigor. And then it just, based on their career pathway, we have certain schools that can also provide them specific scholarships. If you have further questions for 9th and 10th, it's Ms. Beecraft, and 11th and 12th, I'm Mrs. Ersky. Thank you. And those are the IB classes that we offer at Seneca Valley. I don't know who's next. Oh, sorry, Mr. Martinez.
Thank you. All right, good evening. So this is just a sample of what the schedule will look like for the next 4 years for the students. So one thing to keep in mind is just hopefully like every single year students are taking the 4 core classes, which is English, math, social studies, and science. But this is, you guys can find this online through our website or just through the MCPS website as well. For 9th graders, this is usually what it will look like. So they always start off with Honors English 9, a math class, so whether that's Algebra 1, Geometry, or Algebra 2. For social studies, either US History or AP NSL Government, Honors Biology, and a world language, so either Spanish, French, or ASL. Fine arts class, a PE class, and those will be like their 7 classes. However, they have the option if they decide to start a career program, which we'll talk about later on, they can swap those out, and we'll kind of like manage around and make sure they take all their requirements. For English, all 9th graders start with Honors English 9, then they move on to either on-level English 10 or Honors English 10, and then from there they move on to Honors English 11 or on-level English 11, or they can decide to move to IB, and same thing goes on with their senior year, either on-level English 12 or Honors English 12, and then IB as well. As for math, this one's a little bit different because depending on what you are taking in your 8th grade year, whether it's algebra, you'll move on to geometry and so on and so forth. But so some students start with algebra, they move on to geometry and then algebra 2. If you're currently taking algebra 1 in 8th grade, you'll start with geometry in 9th. And if you're currently taking geometry in 8th grade, then you'll start with algebra 2. And these are like the pathways that they'll go move forward in. And for social studies, there's 2 options. So students can either take US History or AP NSL Government. And from there, they move on to the next course. So if they're taking US History, they move on to Honors NSL and then Modern World History. If they start with AP NSL Government, then they'll move on to AP US History and then IB History and then IB History 2. As for science, all 9th graders start with Honors Biology, they move on to Chemistry and then Physics. If the other option would be start off with Honors Biology, move to Honors Chemistry and Honors Physics, and then there's junior year, they'll take an elective. And then for the third option would just be taking Honors Biology, taking Chemistry, and then their junior year taking an IB Science course. Lastly, the world language. So we offer 3 courses, Spanish, French, and ASL. They only need two credits or 2 years of a world language. However, I know a lot of students do complete that in middle school. However, we highly recommend students take at least 2 years of a world language here in high school because it just looks really good on college applications. Colleges do like to see 2 years of a world language here in a high school, even if they complete it before arriving.
Alrighty, so for those of you who came in after we started, all of this information is going to be available on the Seneca Valley website on the counseling tab under registration, just so you can refer to all of this later. We're going to take the next couple minutes here to go over career programs available at Seneca Valley. So we have 10 career programs that your students can get into. They are automotive technology, child development program, college career readiness and development, construction management, and architecture. Within that program, there's different pathways that you can get into. We have information technology and cybersecurity, again with 3 different pathways, coding, networking, and cybersecurity. We have the healthcare professions program with 2 separate pathways, hospitality and tourism management, law enforcement and leadership, Project Lead the Way, also known as PLTW, and Navy Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps. So these are all of the programs. Again, the main thing to pay attention to here is that if you see an asterisk next to a program, that indicates that the program is available starting in 10th grade. Okay, so all of the other programs, we recommend that your students start in 9th grade. It's not required, but we recommend that. Outside of automotive technology, you want to start in 10th grade. Child development, you'll start in 10th grade. And college career readiness and development, you'll do in 11th grade. Okay, so to dive in just a little bit deeper, the construction management and architecture program, you can take a look here and see what the sequence for classes would be for all 4 years of high school. The bottom box on the left side gives you a little bit of highlights regarding the program. And then after students successfully finish the program, they will get industry certification, which you see on the right side in the yellow. The second option for construction management and architecture is listed here. Again, you'll see the course sequence for what students will typically take while they're in high school. Again, you'll also see highlights for this particular option and industry certifications. Okay, so the next program is the healthcare professions program. Once again, you can see the course sequence and you can see some highlights of this program. Within healthcare, like I was saying before, there's 2 pathways that you can do. So one is CCMA, Certified Clinical Medical Assistant, and the other is pharmacy. So based on what your particular interests are, you can branch out into one of these 2. Each one has different certifications. Hospitality and tourism management. So again, a brief description with the course sequences down at the bottom. And this slide here is just going to give you an idea of what classes you would take if you were in the hospitality program, 9th grade, 10th grade, and 11th grade. You usually wrap up with like an internship or something else. Okay, so information technology and cybersecurity. So the first pathway here is coding. So you'll see the different classes for the coding pathway. Again, you'll see highlights, and also you'll see certifications for coding. The next pathway that we have for IT and cybersecurity is networking. So again, you see the course sequence. And then the final pathway for IT and cybersecurity is cybersecurity. The next career program is law enforcement and leadership. So students who are interested in this program, they'll explore the field of criminology, criminal justice, law enforcement, emergency management and response, and homeland security. So if you have a student that's interested in being like a lawyer or a police officer or a detective, this will be a good program. Interested in politics maybe. Okay, and moving on, ROTC. So if you have a student who's interested in being in the military in the future, this will be a great program for them to get involved with. The highlights are here on the left, and then, And here's some more information regarding our NJROTC program. A key thing to note here is that students are not obligated to join the military. If they do this program, it just kind of introduces them to what it would be like. Project Lead the Way. So this is our engineering program. Again, brief description, and then at the bottom you'll see the course sequence of classes that students have to take. This has changed from what it's been in the past, so if you have students who've done this before, they had to take 5 classes, now they only need to take 4 to complete this career program. And here's just a little bit more information about each one of the classes. Automotive technology, so if you're interested in this program, you're gonna start in 10th grade. There's 3 classes. You see the DP, that stands for double period. So if you have a student interested in this, they'll be taking this class twice per day. And again, you have highlights, and at the end of this program, you also get certification. Child development program. So again, this one is gonna start in 10th grade. You see the course sequence, and then you have highlights and certification when you're done. College and career research and development. So this one will start in 11th grade. This is designed for students who have a particular interest in a certain career field. And then this slide here is gonna give you information on who you should talk to if you're interested in any one of these programs. So if you wanna take a second to take a picture of this, or again, you can refer to the website. You can reach these people by email. They can give you more specific information on each one of these programs. And then there's one more slide with more contact information. All right, so moving on to AP classes here at Seneca Valley. We have several AP classes that we offer to students in addition to honors classes and IB classes. You see AP NSL Government, AP US History, AP Psychology, AP Computer Science Principles, AP Computer Science Java, AP Pre-Calculus, AP Statistics, and then 2 different variations of AP Calculus. For your students coming in as 9th graders, they will have access to AP NSL and AP Computer Science. So if you really want to get them involved in advanced placement courses to possibly get credit for college classes while in high school, we definitely recommend AP classes when they are in 9th grade. Okay, so moving on to course options, we're gonna talk a little bit about PE right now, physical education. So like we said before, you need 1 credit of PE as a graduation requirement. PE here, you have different options for what you can do. We have Foundations of Personal Fitness, that's a general PE class. We have net sports, so think of sports like tennis, badminton, volleyball. We have basketball, we have soccer, we have weight training and conditioning, we have yoga and stretching, we have dance, and every student is also required to take 1 full school year of health. So that's also a little different if you've had students in the past where they only need half a school year. Moving forward, they need a full school year of health.
Oops. Thank you so much, Mr. Grinley. Before I pass the mic to Mr. Stevens and Ms. Walker, I have a quick, Mr. Grinley talked about our amazing career programs, and I just wanted to make it very clear to everyone that there is no application or exam required to enter into our career programs, as with our IB programs. Now, some of you might have heard or might be in attendance as a lottery applicant. So Seneca Valley has students from other schools outside the Seneca Valley boundary who apply as lottery students into our career programs. There are 25 seats in each program. It's an application process. But as a Seneca Valley home school, if this is your home school, you do not need to apply to any of those career programs. Just want to make it clear. Everybody doing good? There's going to be a quiz at the end of this. I hope everybody is taking notes. You all ready? Okay. I'm going to pass the mic to Ms. Walker, who will talk about fine arts.
You take the clicker. Hello, everybody. My name is Ms. Walker. I am the choral director here at Seneca Valley. So very quickly, I just wanted to breeze through what we have to offer in the choir program. We have Chorus 1 and Chorus 2, which are both non-audition. Incoming 9th graders are automatically put into Chorus 1 unless they have some chorus experience in middle school, and then their middle school teacher and I will talk with them. And then our chamber treble and chamber mixed are our audition ensembles, and they audition with me. Incoming 9th graders audition virtually, and so if they are already in a middle school program, I will be visiting them very soon. If they are not, they should reach out to me, email me. My email's on the website or in this slide deck, and I would love to have your singers in my program.
Hi, my name is Adam Stevens. I'm the instrumental music director here. But first I'm going to talk about general music classes. These classes include piano and guitar. So I know we have a number of parents in the audience of children that go to Clemente that are in the rock band program. That's a very popular program. So these course offerings are very applicable to them, but of course, even if you're not involved in any of those, we have Piano 1 and Guitar 1, which are for total beginners. You don't need to own an instrument. We provide the instruments, and then we have Piano 1 through 4 and Guitar 1 through 4 for developing ability levels. Instrumental music classes, so these are our performing groups, and we have, again, different levels for different experience groups. So the first one is Intro to Band and Orchestra, so if your child would like to learn a wind instrument, percussion, drums, or a string instrument like a violin, a cello, or something like that, that class is really good. Again, you don't need to own an instrument. It's just giving folks a chance to learn an instrument for the first time. If your child has experience playing a band or orchestra instrument, we have concert band and concert orchestra, which do not require an audition. Students can just sign up for that. The only requirement for that is they have previous experience in a previous band class or orchestra class. Beyond that, we have jazz ensemble and symphonic orchestra. Those are our premier instrumental performing ensembles that require an audition. Jazz ensemble accepts saxophones, trombones, trumpets, and then guitar, piano, drums, and bass. And then for advanced band and orchestra, which the nickname for that class is symphonic orchestra, we take pretty much any band instrument or any orchestra instrument. Both of those groups play at a very high level. We have a lot of all state and all county folks in those groups as well. I just want to also emphasize a couple things as far as scheduling. A lot of times our students are able, and we encourage students to take music throughout high school. Some students find it helpful to take health and the tech credits that are offered online for free for students. So that can be a really good way to open up their schedules. So if they would like to take more music classes throughout high school, that can help. Music has a really great social emotional impact on our students and is a really great part of their high school experience. We hope we'll see them here next year. And with that, I'll hand it over to Ms. Kanai for theater.
You guys bear with me. Okay. If your child is interested in theater, it is an elective that we offer here at Seneca Valley. They do have to start in theater 1 or 2, even if they're interested in play design or stage. It is a prerequisite. They do playwriting, designing, performing. If you're like me and very theatrical, this is something that your child may be interested in. So advanced acting, we work on your techniques. Should you ever want to be like on a screen, you want to be like the next Michael B. Jordan, this would be something that you take. You still have to take Theater 1. And moving on, we have play directing. Should you want to be Tyler Perry, this would be interesting for you and for your child to take. You can create a portfolio which helps your counselor to submit to universities. And we also offer stage design where you can participate in our plays that we do offer. We did have a winter play, and your child will be able to have experience there. Moving along, we have musical theater. We still have to take Theater 1 before you take this class. It is a prerequisite. And that's it for theater. Should you have any questions, you can contact Joanne Fellows. She does theater. Her information is available online. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Miss Hairston. We're going to go through visual arts courses really fast, so just bear with me, okay? All right, so we have our general arts course, which is Foundations of Art. Ultimately, students will end up creating an arts journal, not just in this class, but any class that they choose to take for visual arts. But this class focuses on drawing, painting, sculpture, things like that. Then you have our 2D studio art. Again, they create an art journal where they focus on some of the same things as the Foundations of Art class. Ceramics, very popular here. So I'm sure 8th graders, you've heard of it possibly from some friends, but you know, it's clay, you get your hands dirty. A lot of people love this class. Functional art, so this is like basketry, other ways to use your hand in art, things like that. Digital art, where this is a class where you have to take, so some of our art classes you can take second semester and not first semester. This is not one of those classes. You have to take both semesters. So you can see some of the things, some of the artwork that students have done. I like to think of it more as like graphic design. Photography, another popular class where you are taking pictures, something that you guys do all the time, I'm sure. And then we have animation as well, which I know some of you, I see your faces lighting up. You're liking this as well. So, other 9th grade electives, approaches to learning. So you heard about we're a wall-to-wall IB school. So this is going to help students kind of just think along that track, help them study in that way. African American literature, where you're learning about different works of literature from African American authors, poets. Graphic novel lit, which is very popular as well. Journalism and newspaper, so a lot of these students go around, they do interviews with different teachers, athletes. They put together the newspaper for the school. It's called the Talon. Yearbook, a lot of staff just submitted their yearbook pictures for this, but it's a great class. You know, meet new friends, photography as well, and then just putting together layouts for the school yearbook. And video production, you're putting together videos for our announcements that we would watch. And now I'm going to pass it on to Miss Watson.
As you can tell, we highly encourage you all to take advantage of your high school experience and customize it. So a part of that is joining a club or activity. We have a lot of clubs and activities here at the high school. These are just a couple of them. Please feel free to visit our Seneca Valley homepage to find contact information and a comprehensive list of all of the clubs and activities. We also have a lot of fall, winter, and spring sports. These are a list of them. Again, if you visit our Seneca Valley homepage, you can find information on who you should contact. Our athletic director is Jessie Urban. In order for you to participate in any of the extracurricular activities, you must remain eligible. So you must have a minimum of a 2.0 GPA in the most recent quarter and no more than 1 E. So if you're interested in how to calculate your GPA, each grade letter has a number associated with it. You add it and you divide by the number 7 because that's how many classes you take. Last but not least for me is ACES. ACES stands for Achieving Collegiate Excellence and Success. This is for students who are historically underrepresented in college. So you will participate and work with a coach that will follow you from high school all the way to achieving a bachelor's degree. So this is a very good opportunity. It's not for 9th graders yet, but just think about it for the upcoming year.
All right, Miss Watson got a round of applause. Oh my, well, actually, can we give it up for all of the Seneca Valley counselors who showed up tonight to take time from their families and be with your families. And I have a few sort of parting slides to talk about, but real quick informal survey. MLK, let's hear from you. MLK in the house? Okay. All right, Roberto Clemente. Okay. Let's hear from Neilsville in the house. Okay. Let's go Argyle Middle School. I know we've got one or two. Okay. Argyle. What about Gaithersburg Middle School? Loiterman. Anybody else? Let's hear it from you. All right, wherever you're from, we're so grateful that you made it here tonight. We hope I hope that you've gotten a little sense of how amazing the counseling team is here at Seneca, and they represent, and the administrative team, and these folks represent the staff here. I've worked in a lot of schools in my 23 years of service to public education, and I've never worked with a better staff. I'm not just saying that. The teachers and the staff here love being here, and I think you all are going to love being here too. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, as a father of an 11th grader, of a 9th grader, of an 8th grader, I know what this time is like, and there are some skills and strategies that parents and you students here should think about if you're not already practicing. Sleep, that's number one, right, is getting a good night's sleep. If your sleep patterns got out of whack during COVID and you haven't gotten them back, think about doing that. That's a key to a healthy life, and it's hard. It's hard for adults and it's hard for young people, but think about getting the good 8 hours, 9 hours sleep every night. Going to bed at the same time every night, that's key. Setting a schedule, like if you don't have a system yet for reminders and a calendar and an old-fashioned agenda, those things are incredibly useful as you enter into high school. There are so many things going on and so many classes and so much to do. It's really important to be organized. So start developing as an 8th grader entering the second semester of your 8th grade year. Now is a time to really stretch and practice some of those skills to get you ready for the next level. Getting outside and being active. It's hard to do now, although we've had a great little stretch the past few days. But getting outside, getting some fresh air every day, of course, and getting some exercise is key for our mental health. Asking for help. It's really important as you enter high school is practicing that skill of self-advocacy, asking for help when you need help. One of the joys of working in a school that has one lunch, so next year we'll have around 2,600 students in this building. That's a lot of students eating lunch, but there is one lunch. Students are free to eat lunch pretty much anywhere in the building. And one of the reasons for that is that your teachers are available to you most days at lunch for extra help. And that's about a 45, 46-minute period of the day where you can get help in a class that you need help in, to make up a test, to get some study support. So take advantage of that time. It's easy to relax and waste that time. And we want you to enjoy lunch. But you can also sometimes make really good use of that lunchtime. So getting extra help, asking teachers for help, talking to your teachers. Our teachers are great, but they need to hear from you, if you need something. So talk with them, and they'll be happy to speak with you. And you've met most of the counseling team. Your counselors are here for you. Your administrators are here for you. The staff is here we want you to be happy, healthy, and excited while you're in school, and we want you to really achieve a wonderful outcome at the end of your high school experience. So we're here for you. For you parents and guardians, a couple of quick tips. You're already here. It shows you're involved in the registration process. So this is a great time to dive in, ask questions when your students bring home their registration cards in a couple weeks. Ask them to see it and go over it with them and log on to the Seneca Valley registration website that you heard about tonight and go through the slideshows and look at the math classes and look at the electives and encourage your students to push themselves, to step out of their comfort zones, to push for rigor. You heard about our IB program and our AP classes, and finding an area that they enjoy is a great opportunity to step into that. Encourage them to continue a world language or start a world language if they haven't already. Remind them about the resources on the website. Everything we talked about tonight is there on the website. It's in their pockets on the phone, so encourage them to check it out. And we are here for you, even though we are not your counselor yet. Counselors here are standing by for your questions. Feel free to email me. Email any of the counselors here. If you're not sure who your counselor will be next year, just shoot me an email and we will answer your questions. Some important deadlines I'm going to leave you with, some important dates. So again, depending on your school, On the 23rd, I think the 23rd is Neelsville. I think the 25th or so, MLK, maybe the 27th, Clemente. So I'm not sure about those dates, but we will, this team here will be in your schools handing you these registration cards. You'll have, you'll have about 8 days with those cards at home to look them over, to think about them, to use the website to help you make choices. And we're going to ask that you have those cards back with you around February 1st in school. You're going to return the cards to your middle school. Your middle school social studies or English teacher will collect them. They'll pass them back to us. But as you go through that process, please don't panic, don't stress. If you have something that you're not clear about, don't hesitate to reach out to us, and we'll do our best to answer your questions. Want to thank you so much for your time and joining us tonight. If you don't mind taking about on your way out, if you can scan the QR code, there's a feedback form there. Just give us your thoughts. And also, there's a place in the feedback form for you to write a question. So if there's a question you had that wasn't answered tonight, we will answer it for you. So fill out the form. If you don't have any questions, great. Then we did a great job. But it's okay if you have some questions, add them there in the form. And if you want to hear all of this again, you're welcome to stay for the next hour. But I can't imagine you want to do that. So thanks so much, everybody, and have a great night.